I got one to take.
That sounds good.
Hi, my name is Bob Hirsch. I'm here to talk about the good old days of Gold Eagle.
And I'm Rich Hirsch.
And we're related.
I am Bob's brother and Armin Hirsch's son. Our dad was the owner and operator.
And our mom.
And our mom.
I don't remember him talking a lot about the business at home. He would take us down there sometimes and we'd play around.
I'd go there occasionally with my dad and kind of watch what they were doing.
We got to understand a little bit about the business.
But we didn't feel that Dad brought his work home. Actually, once a month he brought big ledgers home because Mom was the bookkeeper.
He taught us the fundamentals of business. I mean, we didn't go to business school or anything like that.
Our dad taught us honesty. I mean, there's no question. He was 100% honest. And he also was modest. Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back. That was one of his favorite comments. He was just a down-to-earth guy. Business was his way of making a living. He had no aspirations even of building an empire. He just wanted to make enough money to feed his family. He used to say, if only 1 month I don't have to pay any bills. So I could just have the money that I don't have to pay 1 month.
We've tried it, but it doesn't work.
I think about that and yeah, we've come a long way, no doubt about it.
I started at Gold Eagle part-time in 57, full-time in 58. Somehow I kept my job,
Dad was ecstatic that Bob joined the company.
I started Gold Eagle in November of 1968.
My big recollection of Kinsey, when we got there, we walked up 3 flights.
In those days, salesmen had to wear a tie, a jacket, and a hat.
Of course, there was no air conditioning or anything like that. It was obvious at some point we had to get out of Kinsey.
What Bob brought to a lot of things Bob brought, but one is that you must grow or you're going to shrink and die. And you couldn't grow from Kinsey Street.
So we looked around and we finally found 3 buildings on North Halsted Street.
And there were like 2 or 3 buildings connecting, but it was on 1 floor, which was a big step. We moved out of Halsted and into Clybourne in 1965.
10 times the size of Halsted.
Clybourne was a major step from the history of the company.
While we were there, we had a few break-ins.
And I was responsible. I'd get called in the middle of the night.
And one time, someone had broken in. The basement window was broken. He obviously had crawled in there.
And the guy who had fled, and they're looking around, there's a wallet on the floor next to the window. His name was on it.
We had to find him to give him his money back.
I asked Bob shortly after I joined him, what is the prerequisite for hiring?
He said, if they're breathing, we hire them. Yeah, it was hard to get, to recruit people. And there were occasions where someone said, I'll be there to the interview, and we find out they just drove by. They looked at the place, they looked at the neighborhood, and they left.
In 1967, a good friend of mine in Montreal, Canada, convinced me that we should get into the business of manufacturing gallons of windshield washer fluid.
And that was an immediate success.
Getting into premix windshield, it was one of the high points, one of the meaningful steps in the growth of our company.
We decided to manufacture our own bottles. We bought some used equipment, set up blow molding at that facility.
Plastic blow molding is an art. It's not just the mechanical, turn the machine on. There's an art to it. In some cases, we initiated putting products in plastic that no one had put in plastic. We moved out of Lawndale and out of Clybourne and into Kildare in 1983.
We looked for 5 years to find a building that met the requirements.
People in the Chicago area didn't take us seriously anymore because we looked at a lot of buildings.
We calculated when we bought that building that we would not make a profit for several years, but we did succeed there right away.
They talk about meaningful steps, no question, moving here. It was right up on the top.
When we acquired Staybill
And heat,
and Heat,
absolutely.
and later, more recently, 303, those were huge steps in the growth of the company.
Heat, of course, was one of the premier brands in our industry.
I mean, every retailer, every wholesaler, they had to carry Heat. So immediately, we went from just selling the 1 and 2 store guys to all the major accounts.
Getting that was enormously fortunate. Bob had been working on the owner of Heat for years. All of a sudden, they're in bankruptcy.
We attended an open auction in the federal bankruptcy court. I think only 3 or 4 companies registered to bid just on the brand Heat.
I remember Dick Levy came, and he says, "I'm here only to hold your arms when it gets to a point where you shouldn't be bidding anymore." So we built, $1 million. And the guy it was like 250,000 segments. And it went up to 4, 5, 6 million. And I said, this time, Steve Newmer was our lawyer. I said, when you stand up and bid, remain standing. Look at them with the idea, we're in it. You want to bid more? I'm here. I'm not sitting down. And he did that, and they stopped.
My second biggest accomplishment in my career was recruiting Mark Blackman from a little company called the Gallo Wine Company.
After 10 great years at the Gallo Winery, I started in 1993, August of 1993 at Gold Eagle. The position that I was brought in for was private label sales. Coming in as a son-in-law, luckily I had a little experience of this working at United Airlines for many years, and my dad was a top dog in his region. The light's on you, and the light was on me, and all I knew how to do was just be myself, and hopefully over time I proved myself. It doesn't make me any better or worse, and there's a lot of people around this company that are smarter than I am. I became president in 2001, and then Bob Hirsch made me CEO in 2007. I had a lot of growing to do, and still do to this day, but Bob and Rich had faith in me, and for that I'm forever grateful.
How did we deal with all these changes? It's the people that are here in all positions, let alone in leadership.
We're a hell of a company. It makes me proud just to walk through and see what's going on.
Early in my career at Gold Eagle, I asked Bob, what's the purpose of Gold Eagle? What's our goal? What's our end goal here? And I sort of expected he'd say, to make a profit. He didn't say that. He said, our goal is to serve our customers. If we serve our customers, we'll make a profit. Well, much more recently, I came to the conclusion, our goal is to serve our staff. If we serve our staff, they'll serve our customers, and then we'll make a profit. And I think more and more, I believe that the culture of the company is so important.
We want this to be such a great place to work, and we literally think of one another here, whether you're a blood relative or not, as one big family.
I've worked at Gold Eagle for 20 years. What makes Gold Eagle such a special place to work is the people, the culture, and just the integrity of the company.
We are striving to be a great place to work. We think that's real important.
Bob and Rich, when we used to see them, they come around there and we talk about whatever's going on. They want to know how we're doing.
Bob, Rich, and Mark have really made all employees feel really welcome, feel part of a team, feel like a family, no matter who you are in the company.
It's a people company because we all family here. I mean, a lot of us been knowing each other for a long time. And, you know, we come here and we all have to work together and we try to get Gold Eagle's products out.
Gold Eagle, pretty much across the board, is at the top of the list of all suppliers. Many customers have come back and said, you know, most of my suppliers are somewhere around 75, 80% fill rate. We have been well north of 95 and often 98 to 99%. That tells you what kind of company we are.
We felt that whatever we promised our product would do, it had to be true.
We've always been in this in the long run, putting money into equipment, a healthy marketing budget, and we want people to have faith in the products.
90 years is one hell of a milestone. And what I understand is there's not many third generation companies that get to this point. And there's even less fourth generation companies that get to this point. Gold Eagle is absolutely committed to being a fourth generation company. Whether it's a company that's being run by family members or whether it's a company that's owned by a family that's being run by other people, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that we continue to focus from an innovation standpoint. We continue to focus on being one of the most innovative marketers with the most innovative differentiated products. And I think the other piece is we have to continue to lean into being one of the most progressive culture companies that are out there, training and developing our people and just making this just an amazing place to work that people want to be at. One final thing I'd like to add and just say that, you know, Gold Eagle in part of our preparation for the future is preparing, and Bob and Rich again have done an amazing job of this, preparing the next generation of family owners and really gonna, you know, over time fill the shoes of Bob and Rich. But I think the thing that I want to reflect on is how grateful I am to Bob and Rich and just admire and am inspired by the business they built, the example they set, and the opportunity they gave me, and how well they developed me. Hopefully, we have made them very proud, and they should be very proud of what they've created here. And Gold Eagle will go on for a long time to come.
So we think that the best times are ahead of us, but some of the old days were pretty good too.